Hey everybody, Questwise here. Has there ever been a game that you've come across that sort of changed the way, the perception of how you play role-playing games? For me, there's been several. There's been a number of different games that have sort of enlightened me into different ways of playing the game, of telling stories, of building narratives. The first one, and there's three. So two that I've talked about in the past on this channel, and one that I'm going to review today. The first one that I can think of that really changed my perception of the game and how role-playing games can be played was Rifts by Palladium Books. This let me realize that I could take everything and the kitchen sink and throw it into a game and have it be fun and enjoyable and just be an immense blast to play. I really appreciate Rifts for its combination of everything and does it very, very, very well. So the first game for me that really changed my perception on how role-playing games can be done was Rifts. The other one is a little bit more recent. Like I said, there's been many. These are just the three that I've been thinking a lot about lately, about how they've sort of influenced me as a gamer over the years. The second one, like I said, is a little bit more recent. It's Forbidden Lands by Free League Publishing. I think the thing that really captured me the most was a different perception on the races and the classes, or the kin, as they call them in here, but also the dice mechanic is very unique in that it sort of emulates things like hurting yourself beyond just further than physical damage, but mental damage and items and gear that you might use that are all worked into the same dice roll, and it's really, really, really cool. And the game I came here to talk about today is one that I came across very recently when I started to explore a few different things. First of all, I started to explore solo role-playing games in a little bit more in depth and how they can help me be a better game master and player at a table with others as well. It also helped me to discover better ways to tell stories and to entertain myself even when I don't have a group of players. And that game is Ironsworn. Ironsworn is one of those games that has really, if it hasn't already revolutionized the market, I think will definitely do so in the coming years. Why? Because this game not only gives you an amazing setting that you can create into your own, but it also comes with a built-in mechanic for playing solo, playing cooperatively, and playing a guided game with an actual dedicated game master. All encompassed into the rules system, the dice mechanic itself, is this ability to play a role-playing game, in three different ways. Ironsworn has really, really captured my attention over the past few weeks and months. I will put a link down below to Ironsworn and Delve, which we're going to talk a little bit about today as well too, in the description down below. Please go pick them up. You can get them through Drivethrurpg, and in fact, Ironsworn is actually free if you download it as a PDF, and is completely reasonable if you wanted to get a print-on-demand copy for yourself, for your table, for yourself, for your players, for anybody. This game just really, really blows my mind because it works so very well in any format. And that's the thing. Like a lot of games that I've been kind of playing with in the solo role-playing sort of realm, they're functional, but they just don't quite work completely well in any sort of format. This game does, and it's amazing. So how this works is you're going to be using a lot of oracles or game master emulators, a lot of charts, a lot of tables, in this product. And what that does is that helps you emulate the game. It helps you sort of birth your imagination. And I have used these oracles of this game for so many other games as well too already. Like when I'm, I have a group that plays Castles and Crusades every other Sunday morning, and I have been using these oracles to help me garner more ideas for my game. I have been using it to set up one-shots for D&D 5th edition at a local gaming a parlor. And it's just great for that. And when you're playing the game itself, when you're playing Ironsworn by itself, there is such a wealth of the charts and the way that they're laid out and the way that the emulators and the oracles work. The flexibility of this game is what really impresses me. So a lot of times when you're playing a solo role-playing game, or even playing at a table with other people, you have the situations where you kind of come to a standstill. You just, something is just that things aren't rolling. They're not going the way you want them to. You maybe have come upon sort of a writer's block, as it were, as a game master. Maybe the players have kind of stalled out. With Ironsworn, it just doesn't ever happen. There's so many great things, even just a list of words that sort of evoke your imagination and evoke the narrative and push things in a way that that I've never experienced in a role-playing game before. Either guided play at a table or with at a solo session by myself. I really, really enjoy this game, and the way it works is interesting. So you have two 10-sided dice and a 6-sided die that you roll all together whenever you make a roll for things. And this could be anything, and there are moves in this game, which are kind of reminiscent of Powered by the Apocalypse kind of games, right? That you have moves that you undertake when certain situations arise. And the reason that you use these moves is it sort of sets the narrative. Like, what am I trying to do here? And you look through these different moves, and if none of them apply, then it probably isn't something you need to make a roll for. But more like, on the more high likely side, there are, you'll stumble upon something in one of these move charts that will inspire you to roll the dice. And when you do so, you have two 10-sided dice, and when you roll them, those become sort of your target numbers. Your 6-sided die is what you roll, and you add your attributes and your skills and whatever else bonuses to that, gear bonuses, that kind of stuff, weapons. And you're trying to beat, effectively, you're trying to beat both of what the numbers you rolled on the D10s. If you do so, it is a hit. It's a hit with a kind of a raise to it, kind of thing, to use the vernacular from Savage Worlds. If you beat one of them, it's a weak hit, and you accomplish something, but there's also some kind of a complication or some kind of weird narrative thing that rolls in. And if you fail both of those, or you fail to beat both of those, then you fail completely, and something really bad happens. The narrative changes, and nothing ever stops in this game. So even if you fail, the narrative just sort of takes a different route than it would have normally have gone had you succeeded at these things. So that's pretty much the dice mechanic as a whole, and it's very simple and easy to learn. It's easy to teach people, and that's the things I really like about this game as well too, is that the rules get out of the way when they need to not be there, and they're simple enough that you're not focused on crunching numbers and working out details and the mechanics of the game really are sort of backseat to when you're playing this. It's really narrative forward, and it's very evident in the game that narrative should be the forefront of everything you're doing, and I really, really appreciate that. Just recently, a supplement for this game has come out. It's called Delve, and what Delve does is it adds ability to interact with more in depth with locations. So you could do that with the original game, the core rulebook. But it became a lot like in interacting with a lot of other things. So whether it be a fight or a location, the mechanics of it were basically the same. What Delve does is it gives you a more in-depth way to interact with locations. And now I don't mean, and it's interesting because when I first picked this up and started to read through it. I'm like, oh, this is just a dungeon crawling aspect of the game that he's added to the game itself, and it's not. It is totally not that. It can be. One of the locations you can encounter are dungeons. You can do a dungeon crawl with it, but it also includes things like laying siege to a fortress or trying to break into some kind of a keep. It also includes things. The first thing I thought of was Fangorn Forest in Lord of the Rings, right? A haunted forest, kind of epic, ancient place that you might encounter. So the first thing I thought of was Fangorn Forest was, what would drive somebody to go into this haunted place, this very sort of cursed area. And you can role play through those things using Delve, and it does that very, very well. And it also gives you a ton more oracles. It gives you a lot more of those sort of GM emulator ideas, those charts to roll on. It also comes with the cards. They're a little bit larger. They're sort of like almost tarot size cards as part of the PDF, which you can buy separately. And again, when you check out the links down below, you'll be able to see those as well too. There's decks of cards for your assets and stuff in Ironsworn, and then in Delve, there are these other cards that emulate moves while you're encountering a location, and it just makes the game so much more richer and so much more beautiful. And I can't get enough of this game. I really hope that there are more things in the works, and I believe there are. If I've ever read some of the stuff, I know there are some people making their own sort of fan additions to this game as well too. But I believe there's a few more supplements coming out as well too. And there was a teaser just the last week that Shawn Tompkin, the creator of this game, had teased about maybe a science fiction version as well too, called Starforge. So that's in the works, I believe, and I think that would be awesome. I would really love to try the mechanics of Ironsworn in a science fiction universe. I think that would be just amazing. That would be really, really cool, right? Think of things like Event Horizon or 2001 Space Odyssey, any of those kinds of things, those ideas. The Expanse, right? You could probably do that with this new thing as well too. But if you have not tried Ironsworn, please do so. Like I said, the PDF is free. You can get the book for a very reasonable price, print on demand. And you can get Delve for a low-cost PDF, as well as print-on-demand options as well as others a print-on-demand option for the cards and stuff as well, too, for you to use the whole bevy. Now, the cards aren't completely necessary to play the game. They do come as a separate sort of PDF when you purchase the core rules. And at first, my first couple of sessions, I think that they really enhanced the game, but my first couple of sessions, I actually just looked up the cards and then wrote on a no index card the abilities he gave me and stuck it with my character sheet. But the cards really do enhance the game. I love bits and chits, and if you've watched my channel for any period of time, you know I love things like tokens and cards and little doodads that sort of really enhance the games themselves. It gives me a sort of physical manifestation of something that I can interact with a little bit more than just the dice and stuff as well too. Ironsworn and Delve, go check these out. Don't wait. And if you have played this before, if you have experienced this game before, leave a note down in the comments. I would love to talk to you about Ironsworn. It's one of my favorite games to talk about right now and to share with other people. And I get so excited when I get a chance to have somebody listen to me babble on about this game for a period of time. But Ironsworn and Delve, I am Questwise, and until next time, game on. I am out.